don't see that.
Rogue has got to be like 80 years old. I guess that's what cyberware can do for you.
Is that a problem?
For me, no, not at all. I mean, there's no accounting for taste.
It's a little strange that V gets comfortable so quick with Pan Am, but I'm here for it.
Can't leave camp, no chance, but Saul never said a thing about gear.
Using a loophole to help your buddy.
So it was about vengeance, the whole time.
The hell you know about me?
Yeah, Pan Am, I've learned a thing or two about revenge from other games. Might want to sit this one out.
I might be able to help you.
Help me? I take my cut up front, honey.
I can see now why she's the queen of fixers in Night City. In the city, you might just get a cybernetic leg, but out here, money's tight. Gotta go with what you can afford.
Another one over here. We're the wrench. The cutter is the AV.
I appreciate the attempt at a visual, even if it's completely useless.
And now, Pan Am, here's Johnny.
Why does that remind me of something shiny?
If it's something advanced...
Don't worry, nothing too advanced. Pretty backwards, actually.
Real funny. You're starting to remind me of me, minus the charisma. An impressive cop.
You'd be surprised, Johnny. CDPR really lets us get into customizing our V.
How you approach things, that's the trick. Mine is the AAA. Assessment, assembly, action.
Pan Am should do a TED Talk on her AAA idea.
Bullseye!
Electronics are down!
Fish! Scorpion! What the hell are they doing?
The Aldecaldo's first reaction is to go help the AV, even if it's obviously corporates.
Pan Am!
But only if
You remember the cowboy, don't you?
Some nice history building between these two. This swift takedown could only happen if they'd done things like this in the past.
Go. I'll call the crew. Get all this cleaned up.
Mitch's gun likes to jam, kinda like Mitch's relationship with Pan Am. It'll come through in the end even if there's some resistance, and eventually be fixed.
Just remember, you have Hellman, and that's one hell of a card. Try to win something with it.
Love how straight Johnny's head is on.
Saul.
Everything's done here. All clear.
It's all good, man.
Unbelievable. It looks like...
Hellman doesn't move his mouth to speak to us after jacking in. Doesn't need to. I love the blocking here as it feels like we've got an angel and a devil on our shoulder, and it can be a little blurry on which is which.
He already tried to take over your body. You know, just for a little while.
No.
Would you, though? Could be fun.
Johnny!
We get a quick flash of Saburo while downloading the blueprints. Neat little foreshadowing to what happens with them. This couple in front of V feels similar to what her and Johnny are going through right now.
Hanako Arasaka's from the carrier at anchor in the bay. Saburo's daughter.
Thanks for reminding the audience who Hanako is.
By God, huh? A good sign. He is usually camouflaged.
Boss fight mechanics shadowing.
I do you a favor now by not cutting it off and taking it straight to Yorinobu-sama. Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Even with Oda's threats, Takamura's honor still holds.
I apologize. That came off wrong.
This might be a glitch, but we are shown many times that Takamura is like an old dad when it comes to technology.
If I could just get onto Hanako-sama's float.
Get there how?
Why jump? Of course.
This man always plays it so straight and then throws out something like this.
1. We break into Arasaka Industrial Park. 1.5.
Why 1.5? Why not lump it in with 1 or make it 2?
The more quiet, the better. But you are the thief. I will not question your skills.
In other words, you can run in and shoot everyone in the face.
Create what you call a scat room.
Tasty?
Ask the people below.
I love Goro, but he's still a suit. Doesn't care much for these people. This shot is beautiful. Feels like it's ripped straight from a trailer. Haha, they're literally floats. This entire mission is awesome, and right here is gorgeous. Damn, would it be awesome to live in this world. Minus all the murder and stuff. Damn, Goro, I didn't know you had hands like that.
I offered her some tea.
You kidnap Hanako Arasaka and offer her a cup of fucking tea?
Yes, she respectfully declined.
This game is actually really funny. Hanako moves the cigarette away after proxying in. She probably doesn't like them, and it's little actions like this that make our characters feel real.
Want to know everything you know about Mikoshi?
A Mikoshi is a vehicle used in Japan to transport a deity between a temporary shrine and a main shrine. I bet Saburo is the one that named it, knowing that he feels like a god among men.
Let us meet in person. At Amber's, in the city center. It is discreet.
Her discreet place is like the center of the city. I guess for a corp, that's about as discreet as they can get.
I will do you no wrong. When the time comes, it'll be my life for yours. I'll agree to get wiped.
Johnny's come a long way from when we first met him. I looked up and down for some reason that this mission would be named Nocturne's OP55N1, and couldn't find anything past Hanako's playing it as we walk in. Maybe it's that it's near the end of the list of Nocturnes, but that feels like a stretch, even for me. Damn, does Johnny just want to choke the shit out of this bitch.
Showing you what it's like to feel fucking trapped. Now this porcelain cunt's gonna use you in her fancy scheme.
At the moment, I thought Johnny had no idea what he's talking about, but after playing through the ending I got, damn, could he not have been more right.
Missed you a hell of a fright. Then you shoved my patient at the time off the table.
Yeah, that sounds like something Johnny would do.
Now, see that setup over there? You'll find something there that'll help you end this on your own terms.
He's talking about the pills, but Johnny's standing right there, and he can also help us end this on our own terms.
Got a feeling you're gonna regret this decision.
Yeah, he ended up being so right.
You, me, and Hellman makes 3. Actually, 2.5.
Who's the half? There's an argument for all 3, but I'm gonna go with V feeling like half a person after stamping out Johnny.
You want me to stare at them?
Weapon at the ready.
If my charms don't work, we go for more tried and tested methods.
Interestingly, that both of the Arasaka children are planning to take over by force.
That is the way he is. Meticulous. Fastidious.
Was.
Her not saying was definitely tips the player off, especially coming off the heels of talking about the replicated office. Then, to finish the 1-2 punch, we're shown that Saburo is alive. I guess there is a mini jungle underground. Don't really understand why, but it's a vibe.
Hear that? Plant your ass somewhere else.
And to think we started at just some robber street kid. Saburo might be old, but he's not dead.
Atom Smasher. How about that, Johnny? That was for you.
Damn straight that was for Johnny. Felt good to do one last thing for him after going through with the wrong decision. I looked around everywhere to see if there was any significance to this giant robe and couldn't find anything. So it just seems they wanted a dramatic shot. And it's pretty dramatic.
You've lost.
It is they who have lost.
Yorinobu was actually right. It seems he knew what his father's plan was going to be. Sitting down at the same booth to share their last conversation where they did their first.
That line that kept V and Silverhand separate, well, faded a while back.
Makes you wonder how many of our dialogue choices were because of Johnny being in our heads.
The principle, V. It's always about the principle.
Johnny's sounding like a dad right now, but he's correct.
But at the end of it all, it's the code you live by that defines who you are.
We talking psychological code or a cyber one?
Remember what Dex asked you? Quiet life or blaze of glory? Shame you chose wrong.
Even in this moment when I was playing, I felt like Johnny was in the wrong, and it just makes my ending sting so much more. God, this ending was so well done.
The construct has been cleared from all engrams. The madness is past.
Now that Arasaka has no more need for Johnny, they just get to get rid of him. Another corporate win.
I want out.
Ugh, I hate that she doesn't respond.
We can join twins.
When in Kyoto.
Yes.
This and the doctor not responding to us is not boding well for the events that happen next.
It appears his consciousness was used to override that of his son and heir, Yorinobu Arasaka.
And if being stuck in an Arasaka space station wasn't enough, how about being a tool in the resurrection of Subaru? And this unnatural color grade really adds to the disorienting, unreal feeling that this ending provides. This text on screen really makes me reflect on my life in conjunction with the choices I made in the game, and for me at least, damn does this text ring true.
Enemy.
Arasaka.
Principal.
Me.
Betrayal.
Me.
I love these one-word responses because it forces the player to reflect on the choices they made throughout the game that led them to this position. And if being trapped in space and helping resurrect Saburo wasn't enough, let's remind the player what happened to Jackie. Semantics! It was about 2 a.m. when I played this part, and it scared the shit out of me.
As quickly as you can, without thinking about it. V.
No.
This quick cut montage really horrified me and made me feel sick of the V I chose to be. It was brilliantly done.
All is set forth in a contract, guaranteed therein. The contract entails relinquishing your rights.
A contract that guarantees your life but has you relinquish your rights. Players got played by Arasaka with this ending.
A thing of beauty will never fade away.
V singing Never Fade Away, which is a samurai song that perfectly encompasses so many elements of this game. This is the first time we get to see V from a third-person perspective, and waiting until the end to do it adds so much weight to our choice. I wish we got more of these because I spent so much time in creating my V. God, this ending made me so depressed, and that's a good thing. There are so many variants to these voicemails, and if the feelings you got from your ending wasn't enough, these voicemails are either going to kill you or make you feel all warm inside.
The Fool, the Moon, the High Priestess. Those are bad cards.
Well, I'm the Fool on a space station near the moon that was duped by a High Priestess. Go figure. Oh boy, was this game a victim of the hype train going off the rails. It didn't matter at all what CDPR did here. Cyberpunk could have been the second coming and we'd still have people disappointed. Partly CDPR's fault for being so good at what they do, but mostly ours. People have forgotten that 2077 was going to cap off last-gen consoles, not be the revolution of the RPG genre that so many were hyped for. Which I don't blame them for forgetting because I doubt there's anyone able to comfortably complete the game on base PS4 and Xbone. This game, like many others before it, is a great lesson in tempering expectations. It's always fun to be excited for something, but I'd personally take being pleasantly surprised than sadly disappointed any day. Expect the worst and hope for the best. That's how I live my life, at least. I didn't even know a lick about Cyberpunk until 2 weeks from release. Only then I decided to start following some of the marketing. So this conclusion comes from someone who experienced this game away from the zeitgeist that was Cyberpunk over these last 7 years. So how's the game now that it's out? It's good. Great, even. The bugs don't diminish the experience, and that's all I'll say about that, as talking about them will just age this video. There really is no other open world like Night City in terms of presentation. From the instant you're free to roam, everywhere is so captivating. Whether you're driving around or walking through one of the markets, this world sucks you in and doesn't let go. Just like Night City with its inhabitants. I'd catch myself flung from my bike many times over because I'd be gazing at the cityscape. There's of course the standout use of color in the city, experience with ray tracing, and the picture is just next level. But on top of that, another aspect of this world is how vertical it is. Whether it's the towers from Arasaka looming over you or the tiered Kowloon-like homes pancaked on top of each other, there's always something not just ahead, but above to stare at. Add in heavy NPC populations and you've got yourself a living, breathing world that feels more alive than my very own city. And yeah, I made sure to look at the trash, and it does look more than just an asset dumped on the ground, but it's still just trash. For all its looks though, Night City's not the nicest place. In Cyberpunk, you're going to mostly be using guns to defend yourself, sometimes melee weapons, and less often cybernetics. At least on the surface, that's how the dominoes fall. When you dig into the meat and potatoes of the gameplay, there's actually quite a bit of diversity in build choice. Since you can't max out every single skill tree, you're encouraged to decide. Do I want to use blades or SMGs, be stealthy, or use my cyberware to my advantage? Or mix and match? I went for a simple pistol blade build and liked that a lot, but options of choice are great. The gunplay is serviceable and doesn't break any ground, but this is an RPG first. If you wanted brilliant shooting mechanics, go literally anywhere else. And remember, this is CDPR's first foray into first-person shooting. They have literally only made Witcher material in the past. So for a first shot, I'd say I'm happy. Same goes for the driving. Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm driving a 100-ton wet noodle, but just like the gameplay, it's serviceable. To some, that's not enough. To some, they believe that 7 years should be more than enough time to make these things better. And that's a sound argument, but we who haven't been on their side, the developer's side, can't judge too much. Maybe it should have been better regarding the time, but who am I to speak about that, as I have never developed a game in my life. The gameplay works to have us experience what the game is, an RPG. And how are those elements? I'm glad you asked. The RPG aspects are where this game truly shines. Even though not much changes based on your decisions pre-point of no return mission, it's still a great time. You get to have a nice range of options to choose from in the dialogue, and you aren't forced into things you don't want to do. If you are, it's because your V isn't skilled enough or doesn't have the proper information to unlock that dialogue choice. Which is why I feel this game shines as an RPG. The side missions, as all the others online have stated, are truly where the heart of this game lies. Yeah, the main mission is cool with Johnny, Panem, and the rest, but those main jobs are pretty hollow if you don't do a lick of the side content. Everything you do in 2077 feeds into the main narrative. You can be the V that makes no friends and then kills yourself in the end, or the one that buddies up with everyone and leaves with the Aldecados. And those are two wildly different outcomes to reach. There are 5 main endings to the game, and to reach each one will be decided by the amount of side content you complete. Cyberpunk's crutch is the relationships you build with all of the characters in Night City, and I urge you all to go out of your way and play those jobs. CDPR did a great job realizing each character to really make them something with weight. My favorite side character has got to be Delamain. The missions where you've got to get his taxis back have so many neat references, and it's fun to develop a relationship with an AI. I was actually sad when I couldn't retain all the rogue Delamains and keep Del's memories intact because I didn't have enough tech skill. But that's just how the cookie crumbles in this game, and I had to be okay with that. 2077 got me to care about an AI taxi driver. If that's not a testament to the character work here, then I don't know what is. And this might be a bold statement, but I feel like Johnny, Panem, and V are our main 3 characters. You correct me if I'm wrong, but besides Johnny and V, Panem has so much going on with her character. Hell, she gets an entire ending to herself. And Panem's just great, so here's to our girl. Simping aside, what does Cyberpunk have to say, if anything at all? Something you'd be surprised to find out is not much about our relationship with cybernetic technology. There's hints here and there about it, but I think 2077 knew that there were many other stories that have tackled that angle and wanted to shift the lens to something else. Instead of our relationship with cybernetics, what is our relationship with death? If you notice all throughout the main jobs, the 3 things that come up again and again are life, death, and legacy. I don't think Cyberpunk is trying to say something about humans and technology, no. It's about what humans will do when faced with death. Will they run from it, embrace it, or do their best to not be forgotten once they're gone? Saburo created a technology capable of keeping him alive forever. Evelyn decided that her life wasn't worth living anymore, and Johnny wanted to have an impact before he left this world. Funny thing though is that Johnny and Saburo both channel the 3 main themes of this game. As for V in particular, we get to decide for ourselves how we want to die. Because so far, there is no ending where V doesn't die eventually. And if you play RPGs like I do, which is choosing the honest answers as if me, Cameron, were the PC, then the ending you got could maybe shine some light on how you yourself handle death. If you think that's being a little too dramatic, that's fair. But BioShock showed us games can be art. And I'll parrot this forever, good art makes you feel something. And in my opinion, great art can make you realize something about yourself. There's a YouTuber named Grant Vogel. He said after playing The Last of Us, he realized that he wanted a daughter. Yeah. So don't tell me that video games can't have a profound impact on someone, because they can and have. I digress. Am I saying that this game is on that level? That now I want to create a second consciousness inside my head to banter around with? No. My point is that every experience we have in this life, something can be gleaned from it, big or small. Through playing Cyberpunk, I realized some small things about myself, all while having a kick-ass entertaining game to play. It's not perfect, nothing is, but it's a game that we all know was cared for, labored over, and will continue to be supported long after its release. Whether you finished it and came to watch this video to enjoy this game for what it is, or quit early because of disappointments drawn from your expectations, I ask, no matter which one you fall in, play through the game one more time. You might find that beyond your disappointments, there will be things you'll enjoy, and or experience 2077 with an even greater appreciation.
Thank you.